All right, in a previous video, I was doing a frequency output with the timer B. Timer B was set to just loop around and output a pulse, and then you could set one of the pins on your ATTINY to be a clock. And I showed how that worked. Today we're going to be using the same timer, but we're going to be using it in a different mode. We're going to be using it in a counter mode today. And let's see here. Where do we start? So we're talking about the TCB, okay? And we're going to be using it in frequency measurement mode, okay? And frequency measurement mode, we are going to be inputting, let's see, what's the best way to do this? So we're going to be setting up the device, and then we're going to be monitoring a line, and I'm not sure if it really shows it well here, but there's a counter, okay? And there's going to be an event, okay? So the pin is going to have an edge, and it's going to create an event. The event will start this counter, and that counter will just count until it sees a second event, and then it'll stop the counter. And then it will assert an interrupt. It will interrupt the microprocessor saying, hey, something happened. I've got a count in my register. If you want to come read it, you can, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing today. Let's see here, input events, capture mode, capture frequency mode. Yeah, here's frequency mode. All right, so we're going to see an event. Here's an edge. That's going to be on one of the pins. And then the counter will count. So here we're starting to count. And it's going to wait for another positive edge, so nothing happens here. It's just going to go until it hits this other edge, and then it will stop the counter and execute a capture event, which will interrupt the microprocessor. All right? So let's take a look at the software. All right, I'm going to set up the device. What we really care about is the setup here. We're going to set the port A, pin 4, which is PA4. It's actually pin 2 physically on the device. We're going to set that as an input with a pull-up. And then we're going to set up the OLED display. Now here's where we set up the timer. So we're going to tell the timer that it's on port A, and we're going to say that events that happen at PA4, those are going to be a capture event, and we are going to put it in frequency mode. So that's what this does. The control B register, we put it into frequency mode, says count. And then we have event control register, which says on a capture event, initiate the capture. When you're done, initiate an interrupt. And then use the master clock, divide by 1, which is 20 megahertz, use 20 megahertz, and turn it on. That's the enable. Now, in the loop, we're going to just sit here in this loop waiting for new data. If there's no new data, don't do anything, okay? And then we just go round and round and round. All right. And then this is the interrupt. Remember that the counter is going to count until it hits an interrupt. When it hits the interrupt, it will do a service interrupt. And so here's the interrupt service routine. So it'll come to here when there is an event on the TCB0. It will read the data. So the counter has a 16-bit register. We will read that and put it into a variable called pulse width. And then we will say, hey, there's new data. We will set the flag to true. And then we will reset the timer. So if the flag is true, it will come here and it'll say, oh, we have new data. And so it will take that frequency, which is a pulse width. It's going to divide 20 million by the pulse width, and that will give us our frequency. And then we're going to output the frequency as kilohertz. All right. And so I hope that all made sense. All right, let's take a look at it running. All right, here's our little frequency counter. It says 12.6 kilohertz, and I have a 555 timer running. So if I turn the knob here now, it's 10.9 kilohertz. So it's reading the frequency of the little the little 555 timer over here. But does it work? Okay, this says it's 9.1 kilohertz. And if we come here and we read right there, it says 9.08 kilohertz. So yes, it's pretty good. Let's go ahead and try to set it right here at 10. 10.2. It's a little bit touchy. Yeah, there's 10.4. We'll come down here and it says 10.0. That says 10.04. This is 10.05. So yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, the clock is just an RC clock in the actual device, but yeah, it does seem to be working. Let's go up here to some high frequency. Let's go to 20 kilohertz. Here's about 20.1 kilohertz. And we'll come down here and it says 20.1. So it varies between 20.4, 0.6, 1.4, 1.6. So yeah, it's a cute little trick. It's all done in hardware, so it's not going to depend on much else. It's going to be fairly accurate. Now, it's just one measurement. You could change the routine to average and, you know, take statistics and stuff to make it better. You could put a crystal on your microprocessor to make it better for frequency-wise. But if you're building a circuit, a lot of times you just need to know the approximate frequency, you know. Is it 1 kilohertz or 10 kilohertz? Is it 50 hertz or 60 hertz, right? You don't need an exact number, you need a ballpark number. And a lot of times ballpark is just fine. It's probably good within 1% though, right? Maybe we'll call it 2, 3, 5%, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but you know, it's pretty good.